ध्यानमूलं गुरुमूर्ति पूजामूलं गुरुपदं मन्त्रमूलं गुरुर्वाक्यं मोक्षमूलं गुरुकृपा। प्रभु के सुमिरन ध्यान में शुद्ध हो ये सब अंग, आत्मयंतःकरण में चढ़ता निर्मल रंग। दुर्लभ सद्गुरु पंथ है, भाग्यवान नर पाए। देव सदा फल हरि कृपा, तव अमरापुर जाय। Jai Sadgurudev. Good morning, everyone. I welcome you all in this special series of Online Swarved Satsang organized by Vihangam Yoga Singapore team. One of the greatest initiatives to share the knowledge from the survey, each and every chapter, putting light on each and every particular topics to build our spiritual foundation very strong. And definitely by attending this session, you might be able to understand how to start a journey within yourself. So please stay focused till the end. If you are the first time here, please visit our Facebook page, YouTube channel, because all of our previous lesson recordings are available there. Very rich in content. If you can understand, please always like, share, and subscribe with your friends and family members. On behalf of a very dedicated and committed team of Vihangam Yoga Singapore, I am Om Prakash, your host today. Extending our thanks to all our regular attendees of the session, all the newcomers and our team members of their family to grace this occasion. Now let me bring you to the agenda of today's session. As you can see on the screen, the entire session will take about 1 hour to complete. The first few minutes for introduction and welcome. At the beginning, there will be opening prayer, followed by the talk. And today's topic of discussion is Mann-Praan. Also from the survey, Mandal 5, Mandal 1, Chapter 5. There will be a great learning for all of us. Some key messages from the survey, also from the master, are going to reveal. So please listen very carefully. Talk followed by question and answers. If any question related to the talk, will be going to answer on the spot. However, if any question need more explanation, that will be continued later on offline. At the end, there will be a closing prayer and thanksgiving to everyone. Now let's get ready. For those who are not aware of Vihangam Yoga, allow me to introduce you. Vihangam Yoga is an international organization and fall in a category of NGO, a pioneer in yoga and advanced meditation training, aiming at uplifting the human life in all aspects. The organization was established in the year 1924 by His Holiness Sadguru Sadafal Dev Ji Maharaj, who discovered this wonderful meditation technique after 17 years of strenuous meditation practice in dense forests in Himalayas. Today, under guidance of the present Sadguru, His Holiness Sri Satyendra Dev Ji Maharaj, Vihangam Yoga has reached around 50 countries and has transformed the life of more than 5 million disciples. Our international headquarters is situated on the bank of Holy River called Ganges in Allahabad in India, also known as the Prayagraj. The organization registered at the Sadguru Sadafal Dev Vihangam Yoga Sansthan as a trust in India, and also expanding its wings on all over the world, and also active member of United Nations Economic and Social Councils, UN ECOSOC. While in Singapore, Vihangam Yoga was officially launched in 2018 and on the April. Since then, many activities are ongoing, and now it has become a well-known brand in yoga and meditation, not only in Singapore, also in Southeast Asia. I also like to introduce one of the unique and largest center of meditation To preserve spirituality as its own for the long period of time, the center is being constructed under the name of the Swarved Mandir, which is very close to the Varanasi in India. About 20,000 people can sit together and do meditate at a time. Please do visit whenever time permits to you. If you are the true seeker, this must be on your hit list. Now let us start the session. First, we're going to offer a welcome song, a small prayer for the world peace and prosperity. The prayer will display on the screen in Hindi and English. To offer a prayer on a holy feet of the Master and get blessing for the session, I would like to invite Chandan Singh Ji. Chandan Ji joining us from Singapore, an active core team member associated with Vihangam Yoga from almost 2 decades, and you have your own many experiences and always trying to spread this knowledge from all over. Over to you for Swadgan and Mangalgan, Chandan Ji.
जय सद्गुरुदेव। स्वागत का आज स्वागत नित्य गुरुवर संत सुभागम आए। अध्यात्म विद्या दिव्य ज्योति सोम रस बरसाई। दोष दूर गुण दूर करिके शुद्ध हंस बनाए। भेद गम गति ज्ञान गर्जन शक्ति द्वार हटाइए। खुले द्वारा शब्द सागर भक्त जननवाए। जन सदा फल विश्व शिक्षक सान आन बचाए। आज स्वागत नित्य गुरुवर संत सुभागम आए। मंगलगान। विश्व शांति नाम मंगल परम गुरु को ध्याये। वर्ग द्वंद्व शांति दूर कर भाव भेद मिटाए। सार्वभौम समष्टि सत्ता ध्यात्म राज बनाए। भेष भाषा भाव जग में ज्ञान पर दर्शाई। समृद्धि सुख शांति धरातल स्वर्ग भूमि बनाई। विश्व शिक्षक जन सदा फल नीति स्वर अपनाई। विश्व शांति नाम मंगल परम गुरु को ध्याये। Thank you. Back to you, Om Ji.
Thank you, Chandan Ji, for offering prayer on the holy feet of the Master. And we had started the session. Moving forward to the next activity, which I hope everybody waiting for it, that is today's talk. Today we're going to talk about Mann-Praan. Very interesting topic, also referring from the Swarved Mandal 1, chapter 5. As we all know, we had given many equipment together with the body. We can categorize like tools, and this could be a hardware and a software. So Mann and Praan, they both we can refer as a software. They had been given to us for specific reasons, but we all don't know where they reside and how they work, and what is the importance of these both, and what is really significance in a spiritual journey. So let's deep dive into this on today's talk, and I would like to invite Subhash Chandra to put some light on this. Since childhood, Subhash Ji associated with the practical knowledge of Vihangam Yoga, he's one of the busiest person, but he still finds the way to promote the precious knowledge of the Sadguru, while also balancing his life and trying for spiritual progress. Subhash Ji has been working for the last 10 years as the director at the Department of Multinational Institute related to reinsurance in Singapore. Prior to this, he has served in some of the high-level multinational institutes in India, as well as in the Reserve Bank of India. Subhash Ji, a long-term practitioner of Vihangam meditation, and also he is authorized to initiate anyone for Vihangam meditation. It's a pleasure to be here with him, and I'm sure you all know him personally very, very well. Subhash Ji, for today's talk, please.
Thank you very much, Omji. बार बार वंदन करूं सदगुरुदेव हमारा, यहाँ वहाँ सब ठाम में महिमा अपरंपार। शरण शरण मैं शरण हूँ, हे गुरु बंदे छो मोहि उबारो, हे गुरु यह सो बारनी आदि अंत और मध्य में शाश्वत जाको से अमृत अंतरयामी हो। नमो नमो नमः। My salutation to the feet of Master and all here present everyone. Thank you very much for joining this online discussion. And today we are going to discuss about the mind and the pranas. Today's discussion will be very much confined to one specific chapter, which is 5th chapter of Canto 1. Although Swamiji has described about mind and the pranas in not many other chapters also, but just in 30 minutes or 45 minutes, it is not possible to explain each and every aspect related with even a single element of Swarved just in this time period. So I will try to explain things related with Man and Pran to larger extent based on chapter 5 of Canto 1. But before that, in fact, there are a few more things which we all need to know and understand about Man, mind, and pranas as well. So let us pick up some of the quick terminologies and definition before we deep down into chapter 5 of Canto 1. We all know that we are in human body, and this body is functioning every day, every moment. Even when we are in a sleep mode, we are functioning. Our body is functioning one way or another. Our pranas is also functioning. Our mind is also functioning. Along with this, the memory which is inside us is also functioning. So overall, when we say we exist, that means the soul definitely exists. It is everlasting. It is there. But when we are in this body, at that time point, there are few more things which exist along with the body and the soul. There are 4 very important accessories. One is the mind. Of course, we in day-to-day life, we have used this terminology to a larger extent. The mind, buddhi, the intellect, and then the memory, which we say the chit or the memory chip, what we have been given. And there is a part of ego also, which is associated with us. These four accessories are inner organs for the soul to function this body in and out everything. Without these items being available and active in one way, the body will not function appropriately. But the important thing is, when we have these accessories, how much freedom we have given to them. We have given freedom to them means the soul has given freedom to these accessories is very, very important to understand. The mind is the operating system, which functions, works along with in and out, everywhere, everything, day to day, moment by moment basis, inside, through the sense organs. Whatever we see, whatever we hear, whatever the memory is there, it all linked with each other. The intellect is analyzing things for us to identify what to do, what not to do. The emotions are created by the ego. And soul is the one which experiences everything just sitting inside it. But the problem is, if we don't have a control on all these things, means if the soul doesn't have the control on all these things, then the mind is very clever. Because of its own habits, because of its own functionality, it will start take over the soul itself. And this has what has happened throughout in our past lives, infinite past lives, and even probably in this life also. The mind has taken the command and the soul has become helpless. The soul becomes helpless. It doesn't have any activity on its own in terms of having control over mind, control over intellect, control over ego, control over memory, or anything. And that's why right now, at this moment, for all of us, or probably for most of us, it's the mind which is ruling us. We are not ruling the mind. It is very important for all of us to have a control over our mind. If we are on the path of spirituality, if we are with a desire, with a knowing the Brahma, knowing the Supreme Being, knowing the ultimate zone of our home, we must change our basis from mind and body to the soul itself. And that is the path of spirituality. If you are not able to do that, the very first thing is the control over mind. If you are not able to do that, it is very difficult to experience the ultimate experience of spirituality. And of course, we all need the master. We all need the Sadguru who will take us to that path, who will take us to that zone, who has taken its own responsibility to all the eligible ones to bring us to that particular zone. With this quick background, there are two items which we are picking up from here. One is the mind and another one is the prana. Let me quickly give a background about pranas also, what these are. So in this body, which is made up of 5 basic elements, we all have heard about it. There are a specific mechanism based on this whole body functions on its own. There are many, many things which we don't anything related with this body. Like very simple one is the breathing. We don't do anything about our breathing. The breathing system has been inbuilt to this body. It happens on its own. On its own, yes. At most, what can happen is some disturbance may happen to this breathing because of which we fall sick. But ultimately, this breathing continues on its own. Most of the time, people think that prana is only one, but actually not. There are 5 pranas in this body, and there are 5 subordinate pranas for them also. Those 5 main pranas are pran, apan, udan, saman, and vyan. These are the 5 pranas, the vital air forces inside this body. And all of these 5 vital air forces have their own separate area to function in this body. and separate functionality also is there. So whatever pranas does, that function cannot be done by Udan prana. If Saman prana is there, whatever function it has, the Vyan prana would not do that one. If that would have been done, then why there are 5 types? So all these 5 types of pranas have been designed inside this body to create the movements of lots of things inside this body. Say blood pressure, blood circulation, these are happening inside this body on a continuous basis because of the presence of these pranas. What are those sub-pranas? Sub-pranas are basically subordinative vital air forces. Say, for example, the eyelids, we all have, right? 2 eyelids. They function on their own automatically. Up, down, up, down, up, down. If you try to stop that movement, for how many minutes you can do that? Just try it out. Probably during our childhood time, we used to do the eye matching thing. Okay, whose eye will stay for a longer time period? Let's match that, right? Your eyelid should not drop. For how long you can do? Even now, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, really? 10 minutes? Is it really possible? Just try to check it out at your own and stand in front of the mirror and try to match your own eye with your own eyes inside that mirror. See how long you are able to do that. Those yogis who are able to control one of the sub-prana, they will be able to let that eyelid stay without any movement for a longer time period. Similarly, there are other things also. So this whole body functionality is happening on the basis of the movement of the pranas as well. The blood circulation is happening, the whole body has blood circulation. It is happening because of the presence of one prana. The mind thinks, right? The mind thinks, the mind speaks. Have we ever tried to understand how does that function? How does it work? Swamiji has mentioned about 4 different types of Vani, 4 different types of speeches. The one right now I'm speaking, we all speak from our mouth. It is called Bakhri Vani. Similarly, there are 3 more before that, Parapashanti and Madhyama. How does those function? These function on the basis of the presence of the Prana Shakti inside this body. The whole air pressure, the blood pressure is there. It is in that format because of the presence of the pranas itself. So it is very clear that for this body to function appropriately, the movement of the pranas is very, very important. If there is any disturbance in that pranas because of one or another reason, your whole body system will be different at that time point. And if that continues, your body can collapse also. What type of food we are taking, what type of drink we are taking, all these things are very, very important because they impact our pranas. And the most important factor is the mind is linked with the pranas because the movement in the mind, it happens because of the movement of the pranas. The day the movement of the pranas is controlled, the movement of the mind will also be controlled parallelly to it. That's why there are so many yogis are there, Hatha yogis are there who believe that if they, through breathing exercises, pranayam, if they are having the control over this breathing, then their mind will also be controlled. True, it can help. The breathing exercises, pranayam helps a practitioner to have a control over mind. But is it a complete exercise? Is it everything to have a control over mind? We need to understand this from this chapter of Swarved, 5th chapter from Canto 1. The most important thing we have to understand is from where does this prana and mind generates? Where is the origin of these 2 elements, the pranas as well as the mind? Swamiji has mentioned in this particular chapter in 26th couplet, very clearly he has mentioned, Sara deh sanghat ka sanchalan jo hoye, sanchalak kutast hai, akshar kahte so. Although in this body, there are so many accessories, items are available. The soul is also there, which is the tool to experience everything. But ultimately, the mind and the pranas are being given to this soul separately. We have to understand this very clearly. The mind and the pranas are given to this body along with when the soul enters this body separately. They don't come from the same place. The soul comes from one zone. The mind and the pranas, they come from another zone. So it's basically this body, the structure is there, and inside it, there are lots of assembling is being done. Just like as, say, there is a computer is there, right? In that computer, there are so many things which are being assembled together. They're not coming from the same place. One particular item is being produced somewhere else, another item may be produced somewhere else, and the engineer is there who assembles it. And that's how the laptop or computers are presented in front of us. In a similar way, this whole body structure is an assemble of many different items. And on those assembly, there are two items which are very important. One is the mind and another one is the prana. From where does it come from? It comes from a different zone. And that zone is the zone of the Brahma. Now, let me give a little bit of background, which Swamiji has mentioned about this entity in this particular chapter also. What is Brahma? Akshar, he has used the word Akshar. And there are a couple of more words used along with it to make anyone who reads Swarved this particular chapter to understand what is the meaning of Akshar, what is the meaning of Char. So, Ashara. This Akshar is made up of two words, and then Char. So, if anywhere a letter is added, just then it functions like as a prefix, which simply negates the meaning of the next word. So char is a word and akshar is negative of that word. So to understand akshar, we need to understand char also. And then Swamiji has mentioned a third word also, nih akshar. So there is another letter which is added, nih, before akshar. So before char, is added, before nih is added. So nih akshar. So if we understand what is char, then we will be able to understand what is akshar, and thereafter we will be able to understand what is nih akshar. Nih akshar terminology was used by Swamiji for the Parabrahma, which is present in each and every item. Not just in this world, not just in this universe, beyond that, inside each and every soul also, and beyond also. Akshar is the terminology used for Brahma, which is the creator of this whole universe, who takes care of this whole universe and then destroys it. Means it will take care of everything, how this universe is functioning and working. That is a task done by Akshar. What is Char? Swamiji has used this word char, which is not permanent. Anything which is not permanent is char. Swamiji has mentioned 6 eternal entities: Parabrahma, Brahma, Nitya Anadi Sadguru, infinite souls, Prakriti, means the Mool Prakriti, and the time, the Kal. These are the 6 main eternal entities. Among these, 4 are conscious entities. One is neither conscious nor inert, and one is inert entity. So anything linked with Prakriti, Prakriti doesn't mean just these trees, plants, air, all the planets and solar system, not just that. Prakriti is anything available inside this world other than soul. anything, all the atoms, molecules, all different types of forces, everything, whatever is available, it is the Prakriti. Swamiji has mentioned that inside this body, other than the soul and the supreme soul, whatever is present, everything is destroyable. In fact, Swamiji has mentioned that Panch Brahmandi Shabd, Niranjan, Om, Soham, Shakti, and Rarang, these sounds which are happening continuously inside this head, skull, they are also char elements, means they will be not permanent. They are there because of some specific reason. All the Ashta Chakras, all the sounds which are happening in the musical form inside this head, anahad, 10 musical sounds, they are also not permanent. In fact, Swamiji has mentioned that when somebody dies, at that time point, the soul starts coming out from this body with the help of one specific prana, and that is called apan vayu. So when the soul starts coming out from this body with the help of one specific prana, at that time point, a specific sound happens. Many people think, and they are in illusion, that this sound is the sound of the presence of the Ishwar, of the Parabrahm, which is not true. Swamiji has mentioned that that sound is heard or experienced by the person who is now dying because of the friction of that prana inside this body. And that sound which they hear is very unique. They have not heard it previously because they have not died in this body, being in this body previously. It is happening for the first time. And that's why they feel that this is very unique and this is the divine one. Swamiji has mentioned this is also not permanent. So anything and everything which is not permanent, which has a separate reason, separate cause, Swamiji said these are char items. And akshar, which is not temporary, which is permanent, and the Brahm is one of them, which is the reason, cause for existence of this whole universe. This mind and the pranas are coming from the akshar, the creator of this whole universe. From there it comes. So it is not something which happens inside automatically. It is being governed and monitored by the Akshara Brahma itself. Everything is linked with it. Everything. So the point which is here to mention in this particular chapter is that when the soul exists, it is not that active. As in the first slide, we have heard that if the soul is not activated the way it has to, if the soul is not taking over everything else what is available to us, then the mind, with the help of the sense organs, with the help of the ego, with the help of intellect, will take over soul. And that's why soul will be helpless, just sitting aside inside this heart, waiting for something happens with me, something happens to me, some divine power should come to me and take me over from here onward, etc., etc., which is just a desire, nothing more than that. Ultimately, what a practitioner has to do is to control the mind, control the pranas, and not just control, but to dissolve them to their origin. What is the origin? Where is the origin? Origin is the Akshara Brahma, from where these two elements come inside this body. Then only that soul which is inside this heart residing when we are in the body will fully activate thereafter. Till the time the mind, till the time the pranas are functioning on their own without any control, the soul which is inside this body will not get activated at all. That is certain. And howsoever pitiable condition you are in, the Almighty will not be able to do anything for you because the mind and the pranas have covered the soul from outside. Unless and until that cover is broken, unless and until that soul is taken out from there, that light will also not be absorbed by the soul. It will come. It will be there, but it will return back. Because it will not reach to the soul. Why? Because of the cover created by the mind and the pranas. That's why the very first objective for any practitioner is to have a control over the mind and over the pranas. That's why, along with doing meditation, pranayam is also important at the beginning time. Although Swamiji has mentioned in this particular chapter that for a practitioner of Vihangam Yoga, he does not need to do yogasana. I mean, not need to do, he should do, but he should not involve too much just into those activities, just like as a Hatha yogi does. To keep your body fit and fine only, you should practice yogasana and do pranayam. But a practice of Vihangam Yoga doesn't go too long as Hatha yogi goes to do all 84 types of pranayams and all 85 types of yogasanas, do all the penetration of all the chakras and open the kundalinis, do a specific effort for all those kind of things. A Vihangam yogi doesn't do all those. Why? Because Vihangam yogi has a different process to do something else in such a way that all these things, control over Ashta Chakra, control over pranas, control over the body functions, and everything will happen automatically. Automatically. And for that reason, 5 different stages of Vihangam meditation has been designed by Swami, where in the first stage, we have a control over mind. Second stage, we have a control over mind from inside. In the third stage of Vihangam meditation, a practitioner practices to dissolve the mind to its origin. So you can understand here very clearly that unless and until that mind is purely, completely calmed down, unless and until the mind has been dissolved to its origin, it will never ever be completely in a calm state, which happens in the third stage of Vihangam meditation. And at that time point, the pranas also get calmed completely. Calm doesn't mean that you will not breathe. Your breathing will continue as it is, but right now it is happening on its own. You don't have any control over the breathing. You don't know how things are happening. We don't know anything about it. But once you go to the third stage of Vihangam meditation, your mind and your pranas will dissolve to its origin, which is the Akshar Brahma, who is the creator of this whole universe, creator for this body and everything thereof. And that's what Swamiji has mentioned in Swarved, that one has to focus his practice in such a way that the control over mind and control over pranas can progress day-to-day basis. It's not just first stage of Vihangam meditation. We have to practice more. We have to practice more frequently. We have to practice for a longer time period to have a control over mind. And that's how the control over the pranas has also come together. And Swamiji, that's why here same thing has mentioned, which I picked up. Akshar se gati prana me, prana se tan vyavapar, chakranal indriya chale, dharma hai vividha prakar. कारण मंडल प्राण जो पहुंचे योग विधान, मन पंगु तब होत है द्वंद्व मिटे दुख खान. When this mind and this pranas will be dissolved to their origin, which is the Akshara Brahma, thereafter the mind will become helpless. What is the meaning of pangu? Helpless. Pangu is a terminology used in Hindi or Sanskrit in such a way that now you are helpless. You have something, but you can't do anything. So the mind is there, but now it cannot function anyway. It is helpless. Why? Because it has been dissolved to its origin. But it has not been killed. The mind is not killed. Mind is there. But actually all of its authorities has been taken up, basically. It was roaming around on its own, functioning on its own basis freely, the mind, Now that freedom of the mind is gone once it is dissolved to its origin. First, we tried to control the mind from outside with the first stage of Vihangam meditation. Then we tried to control the mind from inside. And thereafter, we practice to dissolve the mind to its origin. Thereafter, the mind becomes helpless. Helpless doesn't mean you don't have to be pity about the mind. Oh, it becomes helpless, how it will function, what it should function. Don't think that way. Don't think that way. If you really think it this way about your mind, you should think about soul first, about you, yourself first, how pitiable condition you are in right now. You are not able to do anything the way the soul wants it to be done. Nothing. We are just the slaves of our mind. Do you really want to be a slave of mind throughout this life? This life has been given for a specific purpose, isn't it? This human life has so much of importance, every single breath. Right now, during our everyday morning session, we are reading, as you know, we are reading 2 couplets from Swarved. Right now, the chapter 7th of Canto 3, which we are reading, here Swamiji has mentioned many a times that the breath which has been given to us, the pranas which have been given to us, the time which has been given to us, these have been given for a specific reason. If we are not utilizing each and every moment of our life, each and every second of our breath for that path of spirituality, to have a control over mind, to have a control over mind from inside, to dissolve it, to progress further from there onward, to reach out to the level of the soul, the consciousness, to do further meditation, to experience the presence of the Nitya Anadi Sadguru, who will take us through Makartar to the presence of Supreme Being. If you are not progressing on this path, we are just wasting our every single moment of the life. Every single moment of the life. Is it not a pitiable condition for all of us? It is. So don't be pity thinking all about mind. Mind is just a tool for us. It is just a tool for us, which has to be utilized in the right way for right thing in the right moment. For that reason, it must be controlled. For that reason, the ultimate thing for the mind is to dissolve it to its origin, which is the Akshara Brahm. Once that is done, then all of your agony, all of your unhappiness conditions, all of your sorrow will automatically be gone. The conflict among the sense organs and the pleasures for those sense organs will simply be eradicated, completely washed out, because all these things are happening on the basis of the mind itself, which is being driven by the pranas. Once both the mind and the pranas are dissolved to its origin, the Karana Mandal, which is the Akshar Mandal, which is the zone of the Brahm, thereafter all the conflicts will be gone. All the conflicts will be gone, everything. And once that is done, then you will have a control over your 3 gunas of this whole nature, Sat, Raj, and Tam. Once the mind and the pranas are completely dissolved, means they are purified completely. They are in the control to the soul on a complete basis. Thereafter, the Triguna activity, means Sat, Raj, and Tam, activity is linked with Sat, Raj, and Tam, will also be gone. What does that mean? That means you will not be impacted by this Prakriti. The impact on us, the impact of the Prakriti on us happens because of the presence and impact of these 3 gunas, Sat, Raj, and Tam, which are linked with the pranas and the mind and the intellect. If the receiving power of the mind and the pranas are controlled, then the impact of the 3 gunas will also be controlled. It's just a logical thing, simple logical thing. If you know the chain, how, what things, which way it exists, then we will understand what exactly is happening. So if the receiving power, which is the mind and the pranas, are controlled, then even if the 3 gunas are available, present, Prakriti is there, it is there, but your receiving power is now controlled. You have your power in such a way that whichever you want to receive, you receive, whichever you don't want to, you don't want. Whichever way you want to let your mind and pranas impact, let it impact. If you don't, you don't. If that capability comes, then your level of consciousness is justified. And all the activities now thereafter will start happening on the basis of the soul itself, the conscious soul. And at that time point, soul will be freed from the jackal of this pran and the mind. Freed doesn't mean that your soul will come out from this body. No, it will remain in the body, but it will be activated. It will take over the charge. It will take over the command from this mind and from this prana. Now, even if the three gunas have to be there, you have to link yourself with the prakriti. The mind and pranas will be directed by the soul to get connected with the trigunas the way the soul wants it to do, not on its own. That's the meaning of the freedom. The mind and the pranas are in your control, and that's how you are free to do whichever way things you want to do. And of course, you will not do things on your own basis. Here the next part comes, that you have to be under the guidance of the master himself. Because once the soul becomes free from the bondage of this mind and pranas, still the soul can go off the track. And that off the track is because of the presence of the ego. You have controlled your mind and the pranas. Very good. Well done. What about ego? If the ego is still present, then still your soul can be distracted from the right path of spirituality. And that's why we must continue doing the bhajan, surrendership to the master. Because the master will have the hold on your soul not to deviate from the right path. So the mind and the pranas have to be controlled to reach out to the level of the soul, which is the conscious nature, in the conscious nature. But still, the one part, which is the ego, is there, which still can disturb everything for you. To have a control over that, we must surrender to the master. Because the surrendership is the only thing which will eliminate our ego. All the continuity of the control over the mind, over the pranas, over the ashta chakras, all other activities which bodies experiences inside can still be reactivated just because of the presence of the ego. Just because of the presence of the ego. Hence, that ego must be controlled and destroyed to whatever way, whichever way we have to do is possible. And the only simplest way is surrender to the master himself. Then only we will reach out to that level of spirituality with the continuous journey. Otherwise, it is very difficult. Very, very difficult. So overall, from anywhere here and there, knowledge is very important. Knowing the right thing is very important. Knowing wrong thing is very bad for us. So first we need to learn things from outside. Then we have to experience all these things from inside. Like right now, probably many of us would have understood, okay, fine, the mind has to be controlled. The pranas have to be controlled. They have to be dissolved in its origin to the Akshar Brahma. Fine. Theoretically, probably we all now logically understood. But what about experience? How will you experience this? Here is mentioned on this slide, surrender to the Sadguru. That is the ultimate remedy for everything. We can't do things on our own because one life is not enough for us. We have done nothing in the past, and probably we are not doing anything in this present life also. The way we have to do. It's such a vast thing. It's such a vast thing, and so much time it takes, not just one life, so many lives it has to take. Then somebody out of millions and billions of someone come to that stage. Sadguru can help you. And pure surrendership only can take you to that zone. Nothing else. So the ultimate objective, even when we are trying to say here, the mind has to be controlled, the pranas have to be controlled, all these things have to be done under the guidance of the master himself. We can't do things on our own. Possible. So many rishis and munis, so many hatha yogis, Raj Yoga, Mantra Yoga, Lay Yoga, whichever yoga people do, none have reached to that stage. None, unless and until they have surrendered themselves to the Sadguru. None. For saying, for the sake of saying, for writing, for explaining, no matter what people say, doesn't matter. It's okay. But the ultimate thing is that without Sadguru, no one has reached to that stage. No one means no one, ever in the past or in the future or even right now. No one will be able to do that. So what Swamiji says, Jaha hum hai tah hari nahi, jaha hari hai hum nahi, hum hari ek hi saath mein, kabhi rahte nahi. Hum means aham. Aham means the ego. We have controlled the mind and prana. Now we are on our own basis, but still the ego exists. Till the time that exists, we still will not be able to reach out to that ultimate zone. We will not have the experience of that Parabrahma. Not possible, because it is so subtle that it cannot stay when you are in egoistic form. Wherever ego is there, Parabrahm is not there. And if Parabrahm is experienced, that means you are now completely egoless. The time, again, ego comes, the Parabrahm will vanish. That's why we have to surrender ourselves to the Master by losing our egoistic form. And once we surrender ourselves to the Master, we become free. It's a very paradoxical statement that become a slave of the Master to free yourself. Become a slave to the Sadguru, of the Sadguru, to free yourself from all other bondage. If that is not possible for you, the path of spirituality probably would continue one way or another, but you will not reach to the ultimate zone, because it's the Sadguru who has the authority to take you to that zone. There is no confusion in that. There is no argument in that. Swamiji has mentioned in this particular chapter this thing also, that people should not argue about few things. The intellect, the mind, and you as you have limitation. Few things we cannot understand unless and until we experience it. So you should not argue about few things. Few things are there. These are there as these are. We can understand and experience and realize once we reach to that level. Before that, just accept things as it is. And that's why the Master is someone who is connected throughout with that Supreme Brahman. What is to argue with him? There is nothing. So remain firm and controlled with your body, with your mind, with your prana, with your ego, so that you can take your soul to that ultimate zone with the surrendership to the Master, because he is the only one who is authorized to take you to that zone. Otherwise, it is not possible. And always I say, to realize all these things, one is listening is fine. Another thing is realizing all these things. You can realize all these things once you continue the journey of the meditation, because meditation is the all starting point to realize anything and everything. Meditation will help you to have a control over mind, to have a control over your pranas, and it will help you to connect to the Master. It will help you to encourage you to serve to the Master, and it will help you to surrender yourself to the Master as well. So please connect yourself with the meditation. Please connect yourself with the Master. Please leave your stubbornness. Please leave your stubbornness, which is a part of your ego, to keep your mind happy. Don't make a habit to make your mind happy. Spirituality is not an entertainment for the mind. It is just the reverse thing. It's not about entertainment. And that's why Vihangam Yoga is not an entertainment. It is not meant to entertain you. It is meant to purify who you are and why you exist. That is the main reason why Vihangam Yoga has been designed. I hope and pray to the Master to give us the right way, right judgment, to take right step in each and every moment in our life. Thank you very much for listening. Jai Sadgurudev, back to you.
Thank you, Subhash Ji. If anybody has any question, kindly unmute yourself.
Thank you, Sri Subhash Ji. Wonderful session. The pranas, sub-pranas, and how to control our mind, pranas, and finish the ego through seva, satsang, or sadhana, and surrender to the master. Beautiful. And we also do not know where these pranas are lying. So earlier I used to, long time back, I thought the pranas are soul is the same. But later part, after reading the survey, the pranas rules are there differently. Soul is the main, and is the pranas, and the mind is the helping to the soul. And really beautiful presentation. Thank you very much for your guidance and support to everybody. Jai Shri Sadgurudev.
Any more question? Any more? Well, thank you, Subhash Ji, for today's wonderful talk. Many hidden aspects are revealed. How mind controls the soul, but the soul should be controlling the mind. Pranas plays an important role in our body. Mind is linked with the pranas. Control the mind can control the pranas. Swamiji says, इस तन में मन कहाँ रहे निकसी जाए कहीं ठोर गुरु गम हो तो परख लो नहीं तो कर गुरु कोई और. This knowledge comes from the master by fully dedication, fully surrendership. Our master tells us how to take full control of your mind. A beautiful knowledge. And we all are associated with Vihangam Yoga. Amazing. This is his bliss. Please offer a regular meditation. Thank you.
Can I quickly request Om Ji here? We have Dilip Ji from Oman who has joined us, as well as Anita Ji from South Africa. If they also want to say a few things, they are welcome to say, probably.
Jai Sadgurudev Subhash Ji, and everybody on the platform. Thank you so much. As usual, you are very enlightening, and it helps me to better myself in terms of understanding Swarved. As you may very well know that I can speak Hindi, but reading and understanding is a problem. And what I've started this year is at least reading 10 chapters every day from the Swarved. And I think somewhere along the line, Swamiji is going to help me to understand what I'm reading. So far, I've been doing very well. I'm on to the first mandala, third chapter now. But listening to you this morning and how important the practice of pranayam before meditation just sets me on the right path that I've been doing now yoga and meditation classes for like at least about, I think, 6 years. And I know now that somewhere along the line, I've had the guidance of Swamiji, and now you have just confirmed that pranayams is very, very important before meditation. And it is one of the fundamental rules of a Vihangam yogi to practice. Thank you, Subhash Ji, for just affirming that.
Thank you, Anita Ji. Just to say a few more things on that, you might be knowing current Master Sadhguru Swatantra Dev Ji Maharaj, every day he does yogasana, pranayam, and walking every day. Unless and until some specific traveling is there, but otherwise he does every day. So we can learn from that itself how our daily life and daily routine should be. But on Swarved thing, I don't know how much you are aware, but since last, I think more than 1 year, we have been reading 2 couplets from Swarved every day in our first session. So first session means every day we do 4 sessions of meditation every day, irrespective of anything. Weekdays, it happens, the first session is in the morning, 6 o'clock, and weekend it is 8 o'clock. These are Singapore time. I think South Africa time would be 4 hours behind, probably. So what we do
Yes.
during that session, what we do, as soon as we finish the practice of pranayam and then Gayatri mantra, Om chanting, and then Vihangam meditation, after that, we read 2 couplets of Swarved, and couplets will be read. The meaning, the bhashya mentioned in Swarved will also be read, and then we explain it in English also. So each and every those 2 couplets are being explained in English also. And everyone who join at that time point, they listen it, and if they have further question, they raise questions also. Another important thing which I want to highlight is we record all those couplets and Hindi bhashya reading as well as the English explanation as well. And then we circulate it to Singapore's WhatsApp group of Vihangam Yoga as well. This is being done since last more than 1 year. So probably why I'm mentioning this to you, probably it may help you to certain extent to understand each and every couplets mentioned by Swamiji in Hindi, and we explain it in English exactly what it is mentioned in Hindi also, but along with that, some more stories in English, and some more background behind that couplet also. So I don't know whether you are in one of our WhatsApp group of Singapore or not. If you are not, probably it can help you to understand few things about Swarved in English.
Jai Sadgurudev again. I'm not on that group. I would love to be on that group. So actually what happened today is after my morning sadhana, I just happened to look at my WhatsApp, and then I saw that VY Online Singapore Satsang is starting in 1 minute, and I just happened to log on. So I would really, Swamiji Ka Kripa se, I would really, really, really love to be on that group where I'm, walk through with my meditation, and more especially the Swarved. Like I said, I just started reading, but reading is one, understanding it is another. Like, if you take the Ramcharitmanas and you read it and you understand it, it takes to you. And the same way I want the Swarved. Here and there, yes, I can pick up a little bit here and there, but I would love to fully. So if you can, yes, I would really appreciate that. So I can join every day as well for my personal growth and for me to be able to grow others.
Yeah, so I don't know about the timing, of course, because we do it in the morning, 6:30, Swarved part, which will be probably 2:30 in the morning. I don't know how much easy it will be. I'm sure it will not be easy, but probably the recordings which we sent, that will help you at your time to read it out, probably. So I have just added you in the WhatsApp group. So from tomorrow onward, you will receive those recordings.
Subhash Ji, सीखने का तपस्या करने का पड़ेगा.
This reminds me my mother, who wakes up every day in the morning, 2:30 or 3 o'clock. For doing the meditation and all the readings of Swarved every day. So it's okay. I leave that decision to you. I have added you in the WhatsApp group. If by any reason, if you are not able to join, that's okay. But you will receive now the recordings of 2 Swarved couplets every day in that group.
Thank you. ये तोहफा मेरे लिए बहुत आभारी है. Thank you.
Thank you, Anita ji. Dilip ji, anything you may want to say?
No, it's absolutely fine, Subhash Ji. Thank you so much for your lovely, yeah. It's always good to acquire knowledge from where you get it. Always inspirational. And whenever you picked out, it definitely brings a lot of information from deep within the spirituality. So it's lovely to join your sessions as always. Thank you so much for the intricate information on mind and prana. It's absolutely necessary that people, or every meditation practitioner should learn on these topics or about this intricate information on these entities actually. So it's absolutely very good. Thank you so much for this information. Thank you one and all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dilipji. Thank you very much. Omji, back to you. Let's finish.
Jai Sadguru.
It was a great session. We all prepared and delivered our best in short span of the time. Swadgan and Mangalgan was offered by Chandan Ji. Always ready to take a role, always ready to support as a responsible team member and being balancing his work life and family time. Thank you for your dedication and regular support, not only in the session, also taking care of all IT work at the background. Subhash Ji, as our speaker today, we have been always learning from you. There's many things written in the survey, but we need somebody who can explain a little bit more. The thing can go inside our mind. So this thing performing by you. Thank you so much. Very soon we will be listening Santi Part by Pranavji in his primary education. And beside this, thank you everyone who has joined today. And also thank you Anita Hiramji, Dilipji. You both are very, very far from here, but it seems you're very close to the Swamiji and very close to the survey. Thank you. Now at the end, let's offer a Santi Part. A prayer we call a Santi Part, a closing prayer, to offer prayer on a holy feet of the Master. I would like to invite Pranavji. He's joining us from Singapore. He's still in his primary education. Pranavji for Santi Part.
Jai Sadgurudev, Shanti Part. हे प्रभु शांति स्वरूप हो, शांति शांति में शांति, शांति शांति जन शांति हो, पूर्ण शांति में शांति। हे प्रभु शांति प्रदान कर, दूर हो सर्व अशांति। देव सदा फल शांतिमय, शांति शांति सुख शांति, शांति शांति सुख शांति। Thank you. Jai Sadgurudev.
Thank you, Pranav, for offering a prayer. And also thank you, Mr. Poddar, showing us, guiding us the way and always with us. And here I also like to share our upcoming activities. As we all know, daily we are doing regular practice. We do have a weekly session like we are connected here today, and some in quarterly as well. But this coming week, we have a kids meditation session. This year, the detail as this, we are inviting all the 7-year and above. This activity going to happen on 29 January at 9:30 a.m. at a Civil Service Club in Tensan Road, where we do usually conduct all the sessions. If anybody had any question, please let us know. And I also like to invite Chandan Ji to give a little more brief on the past days cycling activities and the other upcoming event. Chandan Ji, please share a little bit more.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Omji. So, as you mentioned, we are going to have kids meditation, which has been organized by Vihangam Yoga Singapore team. And all the kids who are 7 years and above, they are welcomed to join us. This is going to be a fun-based activity, which will be happening coming Sunday, 29th Jan. We'll start at 9:30 a.m. and the venue is Civil Services Club, which is very near to Farrer Park MRT. And it's very convenient to reach. We are requesting all the parents to visit us and join us in this session. In order to register, they can just go to www.vihangamsg.com, our website, and registration link is available over there. We have only 50 seats to fill, and it's filling very fast. So need to hurry up to grab the seat. And We are also organizing regular outdoor activities, which include cycling, yoga, and meditation. Basically, we call CYM at different locations in Singapore. And we encourage all our friends and families to join us and also give their feedback and suggestions for future outdoor events. This we are doing once in a month, but we are open to do more than once in a month if participation and suggestions are coming. If anyone wants to organize satsang at home or meditation sessions in their office, then do let us know. And Vihangam Yoga Singapore team will be available to make this happen. And our daily meditation practice 4 times a day is going as usual. So everybody is welcome to join this meditation practice session, the weekly session, the one which we are doing just now. It happens every day Sunday. And as Omji mentioned, quarterly activities, which includes Swarved recitation, 24 hours Akhand Path, Sankat Mochan Path, and meet and greet meditation session. So all these activities we are doing from Vihangam Yoga Singapore team. Thank you. Back to you, Omji.
Just one quick thing. I noticed on Facebook, somebody, Mr. Thakur Rajesh Singh Ji, wants to get connected with us. Please take care of that.
Noted, Subhash Ji.
All right. Thank you, Chandanji, for giving us all the details of upcoming events. If anybody has any question, please feel free to unmute yourself. And we are at the end of our session. So last but not the least, as we already discussed about the survey, which is Encyclopedia of Spirituality, the holy book is composed by His Excellency Sadhguru Sadafal Devji Maharaj. This book is available in Hindi. English version will be available very soon. We highly recommend to keep a copy of the survey and read few couplets before start meditation. Please practice it regularly. And we are at the end of the session. Thank you, everyone, those who have joined today. See you in the next session. Till the time, take care, stay happy and healthy. Bye-bye. Jai Sadgurudev.